Caitlin Clark is doing MVP-level work, but her team is playing like they're still in preseason. Look, Clark just dropped 27 points and 11 assists in a loss, and not just any loss. A gut punch, last second, 91-90 heartbreak against the Atlanta Dream. That game alone tied her for the most 20-point, 10-assist performances in WNBA history. And she's done it in 42 games. That's insane. But here's the kicker. Her teammates outside of the Big Three scored a combined 15 points, with 8 turnovers, on 6 of 20 shooting. Yeah. While Clark was breaking records, the rest of the roster was breaking down. Indiana brought in vets like DeWanna and Natasha Howard to support her. And what did they do? Bonner gave them a whole 0 points, 1 shot attempt in 16 minutes. Howard, 4 turnovers and a block party invitation from Nia Coffey on the final possession. It's like Clark's out here playing chess while the rest of the team's still learning checkers.
So that is the reset timeout. A lot of contact underneath. Clark's got to get it in. She lobs it up for Howard. Howard had it blocked at the rim. Howard pulls it down. Howard's shot is short. Rebound.
So now the question everyone's whispering, but nobody really wants to ask out loud, is this. Is Caitlin Clark carrying the fever all by herself? Are we watching one of the greatest individual seasons in WNBA history? Wasted? Before we dive into the full breakdown, all the shocking stats, missed chances, and what this means for the Fever moving forward, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. You're not going to want to miss what we uncover next. Let's get into it.
Another second chance opportunity. Clark fire away and knocks down a 3.
Here's a thought. The most electrifying player in the WNBA, the one breaking records every single week, might be doing it all alone. Once you see the numbers, once you feel what's really happening inside that Indiana locker room, you'll never watch the Fever the same way again. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just dominating, she's carrying. And the weight? It's starting to show. Caitlin's numbers are not normal. They're unthinkable. Let's rewind a bit, shall we? Game 1 of the 2025 WNBA season, Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky. A home opener, a statement game. Caitlin Clark records a triple-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, add 2 steals, 4 blocks. That's not a performance. That's a warning to the league. She became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 3 career triple-doubles, only 41 games into her career. For context, Candace Parker, a generational icon, is tied with her for 3rd all time. And Clark is just getting warmed up. The Fever blow out the Sky, 93-58, a 35-point margin, a basketball beatdown, and the headlines, all Clark. Next up, May 21st, Fever versus Atlanta Dream. Another test, but this one ends differently. Indiana loses 91-90, a heartbreaker at home. But here's the twist. Caitlin Clark drops 27 points, 11 assists, and 5 rebounds. Again, WNBA history is rewritten. With that game, she tied Courtney Vandersloot for the most 20-point, 10-assist games in league history. That's 10 such games. 10. And Vandersloot needed 430 games to do it. Clark, just 42. She's not on pace. She's not closing the gap. She's already there. And if you zoom in a little further, 25 points and 10 assists. Clark sits alone at the top. No one has done it more. Want one more layer? If you require 5 3-pointers made in the same 25-10 stat line, she's done that 4 times. That's as many times as every other player in WNBA history combined.
Another second chance opportunity. Clark fire away and knocks down a 3.
Amazing.
That is just that.
So ask yourself this. How does someone do all that and still lose? Let's break this down. Because once you see the numbers, you can't unsee them. Take away Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston, the so-called Big Three of Indiana. What's left? The entire rest of the Fever roster in Game 2 scored 15 points total, on 6 of 20 shooting, with 8 turnovers. Let me repeat that. The rest of the team, outside of the core trio, produced 15 points, missed 70% of their shots, and gave the ball away 8 times. Now let's zoom in even more. DeWanna Bonner, a veteran they added in the offseason to provide leadership and scoring, had 0 points, played 16 minutes, took just 1 shot. Natasha Howard, another key offseason signing, had 6 points, shot 3 for 9, and turned it over 4 times. Sydney Colson, supposed to steady the bench as a secondary playmaker, scored 2 points in 6 minutes, with 0 assists and 2 turnovers. No Sophie Cunningham either. She was out with an ankle injury. That's a blow. But Atlanta didn't have their starting point guard, Jordan Canada. And guess what? They still found a way. She brought them back. Until they let her down. With just over 4 minutes left, Indiana was down 9 points. Clark, ice in her veins, hits back-to-back deep threes. Suddenly, the game flips. Indiana claws within 4, then 2, then 1. One final possession, 1 shot to win it, but they don't go to Clark. Natasha Howard takes the first shot, blocked by Nia Coffey, then a scramble. A second shot clanks off the rim. Clark never touches the ball. The hottest player on the floor, and she's iced out of the final moment. Meanwhile, the Dream were built to win. Let's not ignore what Atlanta did right, because while Indiana looks like a one-woman show, the Dream looked like a team. They added Brittany Griner, former Defensive Player of the Year, Brianna Jones, a former 6th Player of the Year.
Gray on the drive, cross-court pass. Here is Jones, finds some space and knocks it down.
And it showed. Griner had 21 points on 8 of 13 shooting, 8 rebounds, and only fouled out in the final minute. Jones, a monster game. 19 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, and Rhyne Howard, the original #1 pick they've been building around, dropped 20 points. This isn't luck. This is structure, investment, balance, and that's what Clark doesn't have yet. Even the league can't believe it. The WNBA's official account didn't even hide it. After Clark hit her 5th 3 against the Dream, they tweeted, "Caitlin Clark is unreal." And really, what else is there to say? When you lead your team in points, assists, minutes, and momentum, when you rewrite league history every night, when you make games winnable that shouldn't even be close, but you still lose, that's not on you. That's on everyone else.
So that is the reset timeout. A lot of contact underneath. Clark's got to get it in. She lobs it up for Howard. Howard had it blocked at the rim. Howard pulls it down. Howard's shot is short. Rebound.
Fans see it. Analysts see it. Even her boyfriend sees it. Caitlin's boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey, is a coach himself, and even he couldn't bite his tongue during the Fever Dream game. After a string of bad calls and missed whistles, he tweeted, "Good to see the W refs in midseason form." He's not wrong. 3 coach challenges, 3 overturned calls, both teams frustrated, but even through the mess, Clark stood out. At halftime, she had 16 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, leading everyone. No excuses, no distractions, just production. And that's what makes this story so wild. She's not just surviving, she's thriving, in chaos, in silence, in losses. So, is she carrying them? Yes. Caitlin Clark is not just the face of the Indiana Fever. She's their backbone, their oxygen, the engine, the spark, the strategy, the hope. She's rewriting WNBA history every week, but also dragging this team to the finish line. And here's the twist no one's talking about. She doesn't seem fazed. She plays harder, smarter, sharper, even when others fade. But here's the catch. For how long can one person do that? All right, here's the thing nobody's really saying out loud. Caitlin Clark isn't just carrying the Fever, she's exposing them. Not in a shady way, but in a spotlight kind of way. Her greatness is so loud, it's making everyone else's silence impossible to ignore. Let's be real. When your point guard is leading the team in points, assists, momentum, and even emotional energy, and your veterans are barely showing up on the stat sheet, something deeper is off. This isn't just a team finding its rhythm. This is a team that looks like it's hoping Clark can save them every night, and that's the wild part. She almost does. Every single time. Now sure, it's early in the season, chemistry takes time, injuries matter. But we're not talking about growing pains here. We're talking about a generational talent making history every game, while her support system stalls like a flat tire on the freeway. This feels less like a rebuild and more like a missed opportunity waiting to happen. If the Fever don't tighten things up, add smarter rotations, and get more from their veterans immediately, they're not just wasting Clark's impact, they're letting the WNBA's biggest spotlight drift somewhere else. And here's the scary truth for every team in the league. If Caitlin Clark is doing this without real help, what happens when she actually gets some? Caitlin Clark doesn't need time. She needs teammates. Because right now, she's not just the future of the Fever, she is the Fever. And that's a wrap. So what do y'all think? Is Caitlin Clark actually carrying the Fever all by herself right now? Or are we just overhyping her because of the crazy stats? Should Indiana be doing more to build around her right now? Or are these early season struggles just part of the process also? What's really going on with the veterans like DeWanna and Natasha Howard? Are they just rusty? Or is this a sign that the Fever's off-season moves might have missed the mark? And here's a big one. If Clark keeps putting up historic numbers, but the team keeps losing, should she be in the MVP convo anyway? Or does winning still matter more than anything? Let me know your takes in the comments. Seriously, I read every single one. And this convo is gonna get spicy. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you stay tapped into all the real WNBA talk the big networks won't give you. We've got more deep dives, hot takes, and exclusive insights coming your way all season long. And trust me, the story around Caitlin Clark and the Fever, it's just heating up. Catch y'all in the next one.